Have you ever caught your reflection in the mirror, the morning light spilling across your face, and paused to wonder, do I still have it? The years have etched their quiet story into your skin, lines that whisper of laughter, loss, and lessons learned. And it's only natural to question if the world still sees the spark you once knew so well. Maybe you felt a flicker of doubt, wondering if the charm that used to light up a room has dimmed with time. But what if I told you that the mirror might be lying to you? Not about what's there, but about what it means. You could be far more captivating than you realize, not despite the years, but because of them. Attractiveness isn't a fleeting gift of youth, tied to smooth cheeks or a thick mane. It's a deeper current, one that flows stronger with wisdom, presence, and the kind of quiet confidence only time can forge. Picture this. I'm sitting here with you, like an old friend over coffee, ready to share a secret that's been hiding in plain sight. There are signs, clear, undeniable signals that you're still a strikingly appealing man, even if you've stopped looking for them. It's not just about a handsome face, though you might still have that too. It's the way people lean in when you speak, the way their eyes linger a heartbeat longer, the way your very presence shifts the air in a room. In this journey together, we're going to uncover 8 signs, yes, 8, that reveal your enduring allure. These go beyond skin-deep looks to the essence of who you've become, a man whose style, strength, and spirit still turn heads. Stick with me until the end, because by the time we're done, you might just see yourself through a brighter, truer lens, one that reflects the magnetic soul you've been all along. Before we dive in, if you're new here, I'd love for you to join us, subscribe, and tap that bell so you don't miss a thing. If you enjoy what's coming, drop a 1 in the comments. If it's not your cup of tea, a 0 works too. I'm here to learn from you. Now, let's get started. Number 1. People seek you out for wisdom or a helping hand. What if the simplest interactions, like a stranger asking for directions or a friend turning to you for advice, were whispering a truth you've overlooked? One of the most powerful signs you're still a good-looking older man isn't a compliment shouted from the rooftops. It's the way people, especially women, gravitate to you for guidance or support. It might not feel like a neon sign of attraction, but trust me, it's a glowing ember of something real. As the years stack up, you've gathered a treasure chest of experience, storms weathered, victories won, and a steady calm that shines through. That quiet strength doesn't just make you reliable, it makes you irresistible. Think back to those moments you've brushed off as ordinary. Maybe a co-worker, decades younger, asked your take on a tricky project, hanging on your every word. Or perhaps a woman at the market hesitated, then smiled as she asked you to reach a high shelf, her thanks lingering in the air like a soft note. These aren't random. They're threads in a tapestry of trust, woven from the way you carry life's lessons with grace. Women, in particular, are drawn to a man who's seen the world and come out wiser. Someone whose voice steadies the chaos, whose presence feels like a safe harbor. Take James, for instance. At 69, he'd never call himself a heartthrob. With his salt and pepper hair thinning at the crown and a slight stoop from years at a desk, he figured his days of turning heads were long gone. But then he noticed he'd something curious. At his weekly book club, a younger member, Ethan, barely 30, started asking him about everything from job interviews to fixing old cars. Women, too, lingered after discussions, probing his thoughts on life or sharing their own stories, their laughter spilling out as he recounted a tale from his youth. One evening, a woman named Clara with warm brown eyes and a quick wit, asked him to help her unravel a family dilemma. As he spoke, she nodded, her gaze steady, and said, "You've got a way of making things clear." James didn't see it then, but that pull, his knack for listening, for offering insight, wasn't just respect. It was attraction, deep and unspoken. This isn't about flexing muscles or flashing a dazzling smile, though those never hurt. It's the energy you bring, a blend of confidence and kindness that says, "I've been through it and I'm still here." When a woman seeks your perspective or trusts you with a small task, she's not just seeing a helper, she's seeing a man who stands out. So next time someone turns to you, even casually, don't shrug it off. It's a sign your presence resonates, pulling people in like moths to a flame you didn't even know you'd lit. Number 2, your style earns quiet admiration. Imagine stepping out into the crisp morning air, your favorite jacket hugging your shoulders just right, the faint scent of cedar from your cologne trailing behind. You might not think twice about it, but if people, especially women, notice your style, that's no small thing. When someone says, "That shirt looks great on you," or "You've got a sharp eye for detail," it's more than a nod to your wardrobe. It's a window into how they see you. Polished, self-aware, and undeniably appealing. As an older man, your style isn't about chasing trends. It's a story of who you are, told through every crisp collar and well-worn boot. This isn't about vanity, it's about care. A man who takes pride in how he presents himself, whether it's a tailored coat, a neatly trimmed beard, or even the way he knots his scarf, sends a message. I value myself, and I'm still in the game. Women pick up on that. They notice the details you might dismiss, the way your glasses frame your face, the quiet elegance of a watch peeking from your sleeve. These choices paint a picture of confidence and experience, and they don't go unnoticed. Consider Marcus, 70, a retired teacher with a penchant for tweed and a sly grin. He never thought much of his looks. His hair had gone silver years ago, and his knees creaked more than he'd like. But one autumn day, as he strolled through the park in a burgundy sweater and polished loafers, a woman at a coffee cart caught his eye. "Love that sweater," she said, her smile bright as she handed him his cup. Later, at a friend's dinner, another guest, a lively woman named Lila, touched his arm and said, "You always look so put together, Marcus." He laughed it off, but the pattern stuck. His closet wasn't flashy, just pieces he'd chosen over decades, each one worn with a casual swagger. That swagger, paired with the way he stood tall despite the years, turned heads more than he knew. Style's magic lies in its subtlety. It's not about being the best-dressed man in the room. It's about feeling at home in your skin and letting that shine through. Maybe you've got a signature hat, or you've mastered the art of rolling up your sleeves just so. If people comment, or even if their eyes linger a second longer, take it as a sign. You're not just dressing well, you're radiating a timeless appeal that says, "I'm still me, and I'm damn good at it." Number 3, her gaze lingers a little too long. Ever caught a woman's eye across a crowded room and felt the world slow for a split second? If she holds that look, her eyes resting on you like they're tracing a map she's not ready to put down, that's no accident. One of the clearest signs you're still a striking older man is when women lock eyes with you longer than politeness demands. It's not a stare you'd mistake for curiosity or a passing glance. It's a quiet, electric pause, a moment where she's seeing something in you that pulls her in. This isn't about Hollywood charm or a chiseled jaw. It's raw, human connection. Eyes are the soul's windows, and when a woman lets hers linger, she's glimpsing something deeper, your steadiness, Your warmth may be the faint twinkle of a life well lived. It's instinctual, often beyond her control, and it speaks louder than words ever could. Picture yourself at a cafe, the hum of chatter around you, steam curling from your mug. A woman at the next table glances your way, not once, but twice. The second time, her eyes don't dart away. They stay, soft but curious, before she smiles and turns back to her book. That's the sign. Take Daniel, 74, a widower who'd long stopped thinking of himself as eligible. He loved his routine. Afternoon walks with his scruffy terrier, Max, through the neighborhood park. One day, as he tossed a stick for Max, he felt a prickle on his neck. Across the path, a woman in a green coat watched him, her head tilted slightly. Their eyes met, and instead of looking away, she held his gaze, 3, maybe 4 seconds, before a shy grin broke across her face. "Your dog's a character," she said, but Daniel knew it wasn't just about Max. Later, he caught her watching again as he brushed leaves from his coat, her expression soft, with something like admiration. What he didn't see was what she did. A man at ease, his grey eyes sharp with humor, his movements sure despite the years. That lingering look is a gift, an unspoken nod to the man you've become. It might happen at the grocery store, a party, or even a quiet street corner. Don't dismiss it as chance. If her eyes stay with you, she's not just looking, she's seeing. And what she sees is a man whose appeal hasn't faded, but deepened into something rare and real. Number 4, you're a magnet without trying. Step into a room, any room, and tell me this. Do people seem to drift your way, like leaves caught in a gentle current? One of the most telling signs you're a good-looking older man isn't a billboard flashing your name in lights. It's the effortless way people, especially women, are drawn to you without you lifting a finger. It's not about a movie star face or a booming voice. It's something quieter, richer, a presence stitched from confidence, wisdom, and a warmth that feels like home. You might not see it, but they do, and it pulls them in like gravity. Picture a Saturday afternoon, the kind where the sun slants golden through the trees. You're at a friend's barbecue, the air thick with charcoal smoke and laughter. You're not the loudest guy there, no need to be. Yet, as you sip your drink, a woman named Sarah, someone you've just met, wanders over. She asks about the story behind your weathered leather jacket, her curiosity genuine. Before you know it, another joins, then a third, and soon you're at the center of a small circle, sharing a tale from years back while they hang on your words. You didn't seek it out, it just happened. That's the magic of your presence. Take Leo, 71, a carpenter with hands rough as oak and a laugh that rumbles like distant thunder. He never thought of himself as a charmer. His nose was crooked from a teenage brawl, and his hair had thinned to a silver fringe. But at his grandson's soccer game, he noticed there'd something odd. A group of parents, mostly women, kept finding reasons to chat with him. One asked about the team's strategy, another about the wooden birdhouse he'd built for the coach. They leaned in, smiling, their voices bright with interest. Later, a woman named Nora, with freckles dusting her cheeks, stayed after the game to talk about her own childhood in the country. Leo shrugged it off as friendliness, but his daughter saw it differently. "Dad, they're not just being nice, they're drawn to you." And she was right. It was his easy grin, the way he listened without rushing, the steady way he stood like a tree rooted deep. This pull isn't about forcing attention, it's about what you've earned. Years of living have smoothed your edges, leaving a man who doesn't need to prove anything. Women sense that. They feel safe, intrigued, even inspired in your orbit. Maybe it's a lingering conversation at the hardware store, or the way a stranger at the park strikes up a chat about the weather that turns into 20 minutes of stories. If people, especially women, find their way to you, it's not chance. It's a sign your appeal is alive and humming, a quiet song they can't help but hear. Number 5. Your confidence feels like a warm fire. Ever notice how some men walk into a space and the air seems to settle around them? That's you. Or it could be. One of the most magnetic signs you're still a striking older man isn't tied to your looks at all. It's the relaxed, steady confidence you carry, like a lantern glowing through the dusk. Younger guys might hustle to impress, all sharp edges and loud bravado. But you move with an ease that says, "I know who I am," and that's enough. It's not about shouting, it's about being, and people feel it deep in their bones. Think of a moment you felt it yourself. Maybe you're at a family gathering, the clatter of plates and voices filling the room. You're not vying for the spotlight, just leaning back in your chair, a faint smile tugging at your lips as you watch the chaos unfold. Then someone, a niece, a friend, a woman across the table, turns to you with a question, and the room quiets just a touch as you answer. Your voice is calm, your words measured, and suddenly, everyone's listening. That's not luck. It's the quiet power of a man comfortable in his own skin. A power that draws eyes and hearts alike. Consider Vincent, 76, a retired mechanic with a voice like gravel and eyes that crinkle when he laughs. He's no peacock. His clothes are simple, his hands scarred from decades of work. But at his local diner, where the coffee's strong and the booths creak, he's a fixture. One morning, as he stirred sugar into his mug, a waitress named Ellie, new to town, slid into the seat across from him during her break. "You've got a way about you," she said, resting her chin on her hand. "Like you've seen it all and still find it funny." Vincent chuckled, but he didn't get it, not until he noticed how others reacted too. Customers nodded his way. Women smiled without reason. And even the gruff owner softened when Vincent spoke. It was his ease, the way he didn't rush, didn't boast, just was. That's what lit the room. This confidence isn't loud or forced. It's the way you stand tall without straining, the way you laugh without apology, the way you meet someone's gaze and hold it steady. Women notice it most. They're drawn to a man who doesn't need to chase approval, who offers a calm they can lean into. If you've ever felt people relax around you or seen a woman's face soften when you speak, that's the sign. Your presence isn't just attractive, it's a refuge, and that's a rare, beautiful thing. Number 6. Your energy turns heads. What if the way you move through the world, strong, alive, purposeful, was shouting your appeal louder than any mirror could? A clear sign you're a good-looking older man isn't just your face, it's the vitality you radiate. If women comment on your posture, your handshake, or the spring in your step, they're not just being polite. They're seeing a man who takes care of himself, who carries his years with strength instead of strain. You don't need a gym rat's physique. What matters is the energy you project, a spark that says, "I'm still here and I'm thriving." Imagine a crisp fall day, leaves crunching underfoot as you walk through town. Your coat's buttoned against the chill, but your stride is sure, your shoulders squared without effort. A woman passing by, maybe a neighbor, maybe a stranger, pauses to say, "You've got more pep than most guys half your age." It's offhand, but it sticks with you. Or maybe it's subtler. A firm grip when you shake hands, a straight back when you sit, a laugh that rings out clear and full. These aren't accidents. They're proof you're alive in a way that catches eyes. Take Samuel, 71, a gardener who spent decades coaxing life from the earth. His knees ache some mornings, and his hair's a wispy white crown. But he's never still. One day, pruning roses in his front yard, a woman named Grace, mid-50s, with a sharp bob and a sharper wit, stopped her jog to chat. "You make that look easy," she said, nodding at his steady hands. Later, at a community potluck, she mentioned it again. "I'd kill for that kind of energy at your age." Samuel grinned, thinking she was teasing, but then he saw it elsewhere. Friends noting his firm grip, a cashier marveling at how he carried heavy bags without a grunt. It wasn't about muscles. It was the way he moved, alive and unbowed, that made people look twice. This vitality isn't about defying age, it's about embracing it. You stay active, whether it's a morning stretch, a walk with the dog, or hauling firewood. That effort shows in your posture, your voice, the way you meet the day head on. Women don't just see a body, they see a spirit, and it's magnetic. If you've heard a passing, "You're in great shape," or felt eyes follow your steady stride, don't brush it off. It's a sign your energy, your life, is still lighting up the world around you. Number 7. Your humor sparks joy. Ever told a joke, the kind you know is cheesy, maybe a pun about the weather, and heard a woman laugh? Not out of pity, but real, belly-deep delight? That's gold. One of the sneakiest signs you're a good-looking older man is when women chuckle at your humor, even the corny stuff. It's not about being a comedy genius. It's about the warmth, the ease, the way you share a slice of joy. Laughter's a bridge, and if she's crossing it to meet you, she's already hooked on your vibe. Think of a quiet evening, maybe a dinner with friends. The conversation's humming along, and you toss out a line, "Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts." It's groan-worthy. But across the table, a woman named Tessa snorts into her wine, her eyes dancing as she says, "Oh, that's terrible, I love it." Later, she's still grinning, nudging you to tell another. It's not the joke, it's you. Your delivery, your sly wink, the way you don't care if it lands or flops. That's what pulls her in. Take Oliver, 75, a retired librarian with a dry wit and a knack for bad puns. He'd always been the quiet type, his face creased with years of reading late into the night. But at a local trivia night, he started noticing something. When he'd quip, "What do you call fake spaghetti?" an impasta, the table erupted, and a woman named Fiona, with a cascade of red curls, laughed hardest. She'd lean closer, egging him on, her hand brushing his arm as she giggled. Oliver thought she was just kind, but then it kept happening. Different women, different nights, all lighting up at his goofy one-liners. His son clued him in. "Dad, it's not the jokes, it's you. They like you." And he was right. Oliver's humor wasn't polished, but it was real, and that made it irresistible. Humor's a secret weapon. It shows you're at ease, quick on your feet, and not afraid to be human. Women love that. If they laugh at your silliest lines, linger in the moment, or tease you back, it's not just politeness. It's a sign they're drawn to your spirit, the part of you that still finds light in the world. So next time you crack a dad joke and hear that ripple of joy, know this: you're not just funny, you're magnetic. Number 8, your stories, hold them spellbound. What if the tales you tell, the ones you think are just old memories, were weaving a spell you didn't even know you cast? A new sign you're a good-looking older man is the way people, especially women, hang on your stories. It's not about bragging or embellishing. It's the way you spin a thread from your past, rich with detail and heart, that keeps them leaning in. Your life's a book they want to read, and every chapter you share makes them see you as more than a face. A man with depth, grit, and a soul that shines. Picture yourself at a cozy pub, the fire crackling as rain taps the windows. You're with friends, and someone asks about your wildest adventure. You start slow. Back in '78, I hitched a ride across Montana with a guy who swore he'd seen Bigfoot. And before you know it, the table's silent. A woman named Hazel, with a scarf knotted loose around her neck, sets down her glass, eyes wide. "What happened next?" she asks. And you're off. The dusty roads, the stranger's wild laugh, the night you slept under stars so bright they felt close enough to touch. When you finish, she's still staring, a smile tugging at her lips. "You've lived," she says, and it's not just awe, it's connection. Take Arthur, 73, a former pilot, with a voice like a low wind and hands that still trace the air when he talks. He'd always been shy about his past, decades of flying cargo planes over jungles and storms. But one day, at a neighbor's cookout, he let slip a story. It was about a midnight landing in Brazil, the runway lit by flickering oil drums, his heart pounding as the plane shuddered to a stop. A woman named June, a painter with ink-stained fingers, listened, her fork forgotten. "Tell me another," she said, and for an hour Arthur did. Tales of monsoons, near misses, and quiet moments above the clouds. Later, she found him by the grill, her voice soft. "You make it feel like I was there." Arthur didn't see it, but his stories weren't just words. They were a window to a man who'd faced the world and come out richer. That drew her in, and others too. Your stories aren't just nostalgia. They're proof of a life lived bold and true. When a woman listens, rapt, asking questions or nodding as if she can see it, she's not just entertained. She's seeing you. The courage, the humor, the humanity, and it's captivating. If you've ever held a room with a memory, felt eyes lock on you as you spoke, that's the sign. Your past isn't behind you. It's a light that still burns bright, and they can't look away. Final thoughts, seeing the man you are. So here we are, at the end of our little journey together, 8 signs laid out like stepping stones. Take a breath and let them sink in. Maybe you've spotted a few in yourself, those quiet moments where the world seems to tilt your way. Or maybe you're starting to see the man others do. Attractiveness isn't a trophy you lose with youth. It's a fire that shifts, deepens, fueled by the confidence you've earned, the care you show, the stories you carry. You're not just aging, you're becoming, and that's a beauty no mirror can fully catch. Think about it. The way a woman's eyes linger, the way your laugh lights her up, the way your presence steadies a room. These aren't flukes. They're reflections of a man who's grown into something rare. You've got wisdom younger guys can't touch, a style that's yours alone, a spirit that still dances. So if you've ever wondered if you've still got it, let this be your answer. You do. It's in the respect you command, the warmth you spark, the way you make people feel alive just by being near. What hit you hardest today? Was it one of these signs you've seen in yourself, or one you want to lean into more? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story, your takeaway, your next step. Your voice matters here, and reading it keeps me going. If this resonated, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and stick around. There's more where this came from. Thanks for being here, friend. You're more remarkable than you know, and I'll see you in the next one.